Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hey everyone, checking in on the market. So today is a day on Thursday where Chart Gal Dinsey does the live streams for us, and today's my day off. So oftentimes I like to use that time to place a trade or two for myself where I'm only completely focused on the trade, which is something that I don't really get Monday through Wednesday or Friday as I'm doing the live coverage at the same time. And it is very different in terms of not having to talk as you're trading or not having to type and continue to relay information mid-trade as to shifts in game plan. It's just, honestly, it's a lot easier. So I like that little one day I get of nice focused trading. So I'll go over a shop trade that I made today at the end of the video. But checking in on SPY today is a victory for the bulls, just in the sense that they held on just fine and we aren't convinced that we have topped out just yet. So we did get a little bit of a pullback today. The low of yesterday's support held by about 26 cents. And we made a bounce back to the high. So looking at the hourly time frame, what the bears have to hope to see is a head and shoulders pattern here, where yesterday would be the left shoulder, pre-market would be the head, and then today's action would be the right shoulder. So that would mean we would have to fail to break 312.67 into tomorrow, and then drop down and break 310.58 if that's going to be our lower high in the longer term equilibrium that we are looking at from yesterday's video. That being said, this volume is very notable at the end of the day as far as increasing bull volume, although now that I zoom in, I can see that a lot of that was for the bears as well. So some bear volume standing out, a little bit misleading, with that being all bull volume at the end of the day. Zoom in even further. Big bear 5-minute candlestick that certainly recovered very quickly. Those buy bots were in force at the end of the day, but it's a battle right now. It's a little tug of war at the top, and the question is, are we going to roll over and give us this 4-hour longer term pattern that we're looking at with a high, low? Is this our lower high? And then we're going to look for the higher low. If we break 312.25 tomorrow and keep going, my thesis stays the same in the sense that I'm not just going to flip and suddenly go bullish, but I will say, wow, the bulls are stronger than I thought they would be, and I have to remain patient because this is not a comfortable risk to reward setup that I like. And I personally would continue to scout potential bearish entries looking for a lower high compared to the all-time high. That's just me personally, but that's where my mindset is at right now. So first thing I'm going to look at tomorrow morning is, what does this hourly time frame look like, and is this head and shoulders pattern possible for tomorrow during the day? IWM. So again, anything under 162.93 is a lower high. We're watching the 4-hour time frame. High, low, lower high, and if the bulls very quickly, it's almost like if tomorrow we see a pullback, it's going to be very clear for me and easy to trade, as it's the most likely setup that I anticipated, where if the bulls follow through and break 160, 165, like I said, then it's back to the sidelines for me, being patient, waiting for a bit more clarity, because the bulls would be stronger than I had anticipated. QQQ. So again, I just shut off extended hours to make it a bit more clear. Is the same hourly setup there. Turn it back on. It is. So the same hourly head and shoulders possibility as SPY. We would have to fail to break the high of pre-market and then break the low of today, tomorrow, for the bulls to lose their momentum. XLF, significant bounce. Looking for that lower high compared to 30.55. And again, just patiently waiting as the bulls have kept control up to this point. We have the hourly uptrend as a guide. Anything above 29.83 keeps the bulls in control, and they had a new high at the end of the day, staying strong. XLV had a nice day trade rejection from resistance first thing. This $100 psychological level is now a triple top. We pulled back from it by 10 cents today, and then we had a fast drop. Look at the drop this morning. So anybody that shorted off that 100 level, big time quick gains. But again, a full recovery. Notable bear volume at the end of the day. 4-hour time frame. High, low, double top. And if the bears do show up tomorrow, 4-hour equilibrium on XLV, which favors the bulls more than the equilibriums we're looking at on SPY and QQQ because we double topped. We already made it to that resistance, whereas those other names are a bit further from their own resistances. And the biotech sector also had a nice sharp pullback this morning, also had a fairly significant recovery. And looking at the 4-hour time frame, 91.68 is the most important support level for me. And it would have to be, not sure why my lines are changing colors on me here. It would have to see, my ideal setup would be to hold 91.61 on the initial test, see a bull move, fail, and then roll over into head and shoulders. That's if I had my ideal scenario, but bears in general just want to see a break of 91.68 because that would lose this little daily higher low, and that would certainly shift momentum away from the bulls on the daily time frame for the first time in over a month. So bigger picture, just to summarize, bulls still have control. We have a potential head and shoulders pattern on the hourly time frame that we'll be watching into tomorrow morning. What tomorrow pre-market looks like is going to give us a good gauge as to the probability of that hourly head and shoulders being in play or not for tomorrow. If we get a bull break over the highs of today, tomorrow in these sectors, that means for me to remain patient because it is not the setup that I was looking for, and I will continuously watch for those lower highs to be set. And if we are unable to break the highs of today, then we'll watch to see if the bears can follow through and give us these tightening patterns. The VIX looking for a daily higher low, little double low the last 2 days, 1410, 1420, and the bulls are going to have to change the hourly trend for our daily higher low to be set. So I got a low, high, no higher low yet, have to hold 1420 and break 1540 if we're going to change that hourly trend tomorrow, which would require a bit of weakness in the market, in my opinion. Eyes on gold and miners. This so far is healthy consolidation, and if we do see a lower high set in these markets, either tomorrow or Monday, gold is still positioned fairly well. And if gold can just give us a little quick period of consolidation, either sideways or a little bull flag, and then see follow through back over 1484, that would be notable for strength. The weekly time frame doing its best to negate that bear flag. And again, the 4-hour time frame, this consolidation so far, bulls will take it with the size of the recovery in the S&P 500 holding up well enough that the bulls can see continuation over 1484. Just need a little bit of a catalyst, ideally from those markets being a bit weak. Silver holding short-term support, has a lot of work to do to recover. Certainly worse, or I should say weaker than gold. But hope is not lost for the bulls yet, as we did hold short-term support. And look at bull miners, daily bull flag for NUGT looking really good today. Holding up just fine, held the low of yesterday by 10 cents. And looking up at that high, and hourly consolidation at the end of the day. So best case for the bulls is to form an hourly higher low, break 30 and 30.25 to end the week, and you better believe people will be talking about gold. If gold can break 1484 tomorrow, and if NUGT can break 30.25, gold and miners will have a good bit of buzz into the weekend, because that would be a daily trend change into a bull flag into continuation, keeping that momentum in favor of the bulls. So I will have my attention on those tomorrow. Oil, very significant recovery to get to the highest price we've seen in months. It's almost like a broadening megaphone, broadening, whatever you want to call it. A broadening pattern. So just something to keep an eye on. Again, I personally wouldn't be trading based off these lines, but it's nice to have a visual of what we're looking at. And we know that we're a bit extended. We've gone up 5-7% the last 4 days. And the 4-hour time frame is looking a little bit toppy with these upper wicks. Most important short-term support is 58.07. If we break 58.07 tomorrow, we'll be looking for a daily higher low to form. But the bulls are certainly comfortable, significantly above $55 support. And natural gas. So natural gas has multiple daily inside bars forming. Inside bar yesterday, we rejected from resistance today. You could say, well, we broke it by 0.2 of a penny. For me, that's a rejection. That's a double top. And we're still within this range as far as I'm concerned. We were watching for a 4-hour equilibrium, but it's drawn out enough now that I want to zoom out a little bit to condense it and make it a bit more clear for me. And I'm looking at this as a low, high, higher, that didn't work. Higher low. And now it looks like our lower high is set. 2325 is the most important support for the bulls to maintain to stay in this tightening pattern. And how this tightening pattern breaks will dictate momentum into next week, if it does break tomorrow. So shop, the trade I took today was, there was a great top fishing play. High of yesterday, 376.91. We topped out at the end of the day, 376.62. There's two resistances right there. First thing this morning, big recovery, rejected right from those levels. I missed that trade. I wasn't watching shop at that point in time. Great top fishing play from 377 resistance and an all-out dump. Huge reward on that dump. Nice 4%, 4.5% drop real quick. But I got it on the bounce. I said, wow, this is a great bounce, but look how extended the bulls are. We just bounced 4.5%. What are the odds that we break a triple top of resistance being this extended with every single 5-minute candlestick being a higher low? It would be a different story if on this 5-minute bull move, we saw bull flags on the way up, because that's bulls calming or cooling off, consolidating, and then seeing another leg up. And every time that consolidation happens, a short is going to jump in and then get trapped and have to cover, adding to that bull momentum. So when you don't have those stair steps and things get extended, those are my favorite plays off of resistance or off of support. We call them top fishing and bottom fishing. So I entered a starter position, and it was actually a full position at 373 with a stop above 376.59. Then I watched this action play out, and I wasn't watching it on the 2-minute time frame. Normally I would be, but with things a little bit less tight as far as the bid and the ask are concerned for shop, I kept it to the 5-minute time frame. So I saw another higher low form each candle. Again, at this point we were on 3, 6, 9, 10 candles in a row with a higher low every candle, and I just want to see that pattern break, because if that pattern breaks, I know I can position myself with very low risk to try and let that trade play out a little bit. Then I saw another attempt here and a failure to break 374.48. And as soon as that happened, I entered a second position, and at this point it was a large position in my account for what I normally take, and I moved my stop from here to here, because at that point I said, okay, I saw that rejection, and if I'm going to be correct, we're not going to break this level. And if we do break this level, I need to have a tight stop, because I will be wrong in my thesis, number one, and number two, the size of the position that I have can very easily become a multiple day loser if I do not keep a tight leash and have a stop loss on it. So if I had kept my stop on two positions from 373 and put my stop over 377, I'd be risking a 2-day loser if I were to get stopped out. So we started the pullback. We broke the pattern of a higher low every candle. Look at how convincing that break was. Volume spike, highest volume candle in a half hour, and bears making a statement. So what I did to trim down my position and lower my risk substantially and keep that reward nice and possible is I sold half of my position for a $2 gain. So short, two positions at 373. It was 373.02, 373.06, something like that. But covered half of it at 371.0 whatever. And at that point, my break even on the trade would be if my second half position still remaining were to hit 375. So that makes me way more comfortable. I know I'm not going to lose on this trade. So I keep my stop on the second position above 374.48, knowing worst case scenario, I'll have tiny profit. And then I let it play out a little bit longer. I did have an appointment at noon, so I knew I had to leave soon. And I locked the second half of the position in at 368. So in the end, it ended up being an average exit of 369, and it ended up being a day and a half maker for a nice little 25, 30-minute trade. So after that, I was done for the day. That's all I need to do. Went and did other things and didn't watch the rest of the day. But I'll be watching tomorrow, because if this inside bar breaks on the daily time frame, daily consolidation is underway. If we were seeing SPY weakness, if we see those hourly head and shoulders roll over in QQQ and SPY, then I'll be watching for shop for a break of 360.26 to potentially look for a bit more pullback. So that's that. Hope you had a good day. We'll check back in next week, unless you are going to be hanging out in the chat room over the weekend. I'll talk to you then and there. I'm out of content for the end of the videos. I'll make some more this weekend, perhaps. But we'll go back to good old Barry that was hanging around the property a few months ago.